it's been on me to tell the things that I wish I would have known at 17 as a 17-year-old mom. So I wish I would have known that all I had to do was do 3 things to have the life I desired, even without a support system, even without having, stable parents, even without having, coming from money. Like, if I had known then, what life had to show me, that all I had to do was do 3 things that I could still have my dream life, I would have saved myself many years. But all I had to do was decide, get clarity, and go for it. Now, I had to go for it part down because I was going, but I didn't realize I was missing the decide piece in its fullness. What do I mean by that? Well, first you have to decide who you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter who your parents are. It doesn't matter any of the other pieces of life that you think matter. They really don't. All that matters is who you have decided to be. Now, life has a way of kind of throwing hints at us. So if you've been loving and kind and thoughtful and the people around you haven't, you have to decide to continue to be who you are or to accept the alternative, to be like everyone else around you. But for most of us, we already know who we are. Most of us don't accept who we are. We change who we are for our environment, for our parents, for our community, for someone else, regardless of the who or the what or the why, for our friends, our teachers. Most of us change who we are, but we come into this world having a sense of who we are. So I wish I would have known that all I had to do was decide who I am, who I want to be, and let that be that. Now, because I had my daughter at 17, a lot of people wanted to decide who I was. For the most part, it didn't stick. Most of it didn't stick, but there were a few comments, there were a few things over the years that I didn't realize stuck with me, because the same people, the same world that will say, hey, make this decision, this is the right decision, have this child. Many of those same people, when you make that choice, are not there. They are not there to support you. They are not there to, most importantly, not even throw money, though resources are important. They're not there to speak life. They're not there to give encouragement. They're not there to tell you that you are courageous, that in a world where you can choose differently, you chose to take on the most incredible and challenging path you can take, which is to become a parent. Many of those same people aren't there. And unfortunately, some of those same people are the very ones condemning and judging. So I wish I would have known then to just decide who I am. Let people say what they want to say. Let them think what they want to think. But decide, because I've decided who I am, I know who I am. And I realized that, I didn't have that growing up. So I thought that was something that had to come from my parents. So since it didn't, I had to just accept that. And the last 20 years have shown me that's not at all the case. It's work I had to do on myself. There's things that I had to put inside of me, but it's something that we all have control over. So is it easier when you get it as a kid? Absolutely. But even if you don't start out with that, it doesn't change anything. It's an opportunity. It's not a problem. It's an opportunity for you to become exactly who you want to be. And it's a gift because since you had to do that work, you are very clear about what it takes to be that person. And that's an advantage because you can then pour that into your child. So the second thing I wish I would have known was to get clarity. Get very clear about the life I wanted. Get very clear about my goals, about my dreams, about the vision I have for myself and my daughter. And like I said, I was a doer. And though I thought I had clarity, I realize now that I didn't, because some of the choices I made, some of the connections I made or mostly maintained were things that did not align with my vision. They did not align with where I was going. So I was doing, but there were moments where I felt like I'm not getting anywhere, or I'm not where I'm supposed to be, because of the relationships I had, because of the things I was maintaining. So I wish I would have had clarity, not just about where I was going and how to get there, but what things are not going to serve me, are not going to help me get there. And had I asked myself those questions, I would have reevaluated relationships. I would have reevaluated perceived obligations. At the time, I thought, I owe this person, I owe that person, I have to do this, or I have to be this because they did this for me, or they were this to me, or that. Life has shown me you don't owe anybody anything. You owe one person. You owe yourself. And for a season, you owe your child for a season. But after that season, after you have done your part as a parent, after you have poured into, after you have loved, after you have done your part, you owe no one nothing. You owe no one anything. The only person you owe is yourself, to build your life, to build your dream, to create the life you desire. That's who you owe. At the end of your life, you have to look at one person and think, did I do my best? Did I give it my all? You're the one who has to meditate on that and sit with those thoughts. So you owe you. You only owe yourself. But I wish I would have known that I only was obligated to me and my daughter in that season. And what that looked like was letting people deal with their choices, letting people deal with the fruit of the lives they created for themselves, saying no and not feeling guilty about it, having success because I made many of the right choices. So having success and not feeling guilty about it, and not trying to pull people up with me as I was moving forward, accepting that for whatever reason, this person is where they are and they think that they have to stay there. So who am I to judge the choice they make? Who am I to pull them somewhere they don't want to go? They're not ready to go. And I had to learn, I had to realize that while somebody might want to be in a different place, they have to do the work themselves. The work cannot be done for you. So many of the people I, lived with, encountered over life, many of those people, they thought they wanted to be somewhere, but they weren't willing to do the work. And, sometimes they were just terrified. They were scared of losing family, friends. So I had to realize it's not right. It's not even right for me to take them somewhere they're not ready to go. The best thing I can do is love them in a healthy way for me and let them go on their path. So get clarity, get very clear about the path that it takes to get where you want to go. And also get clear about the things that are not going to help you get there, and get clear about what you have to do to have the clearest, easiest path to get to your destination. Because ultimately, it really boils down to what you want. And the third thing I wish I would have known was to go for it. Unapologetically without fear, fearlessly, courageously, confidently, go for it. Now I did many things. I was very successful, very accomplished, always at the top. But because of things I thought I needed, I can't even say I had imposter syndrome. I gave myself over to imposter syndrome. Like I said, here you go, you can have all my power. And I never embraced who I was and what I did. I never fully embraced the options available to me because, I felt like, okay, once I check off enough boxes, then I will be worthy of this. Then I will be good enough. And I wish I would have known that I was born good enough. I came into this world worthy. All I had to do was go for it. Go for it fearlessly. Don't be afraid of, who you think you're going to leave behind. Because you will find in this life's journey, you will leave people behind. You'll have to, because not everybody wants to go where you're going. Period. Family, friends, those people closest to you, you're going to have to leave someone behind. It's not your job to be concerned about the who or the what or the how. That's not your job. Your job is to go after it. Now, you'll find on the path, some people do want to go with you, but that's not your responsibility. That's not your job to decide or push them, or that's not your job. Your job is to go after it and light the path for those who want to follow behind you. Because when you want something bad enough, nothing will stop you. No one can stop you. When you want something, you will figure out how to have it. You will figure out how to do it. You will figure out how to be it. You will figure it out. So your job is to move forward and advance. And the people that you're thinking about, the people that you're thinking, well, if I stay, they'll, maybe this person will get it, or I can't leave this one behind because those people, if they're going to move forward, baby, they're going to move forward with or without you. So the best thing you can do is advance. So by the time they have decided and gotten their clarity, you are in a position to pour into them in a way that you couldn't before. Because if you stay back, trying to look out for them, trying to make sure they're good, trying to control things that you really don't have power to control, you just hold yourself back. And you take yourself from the position that you could have. So instead of being the cousin or the big sister or brother who has the resources to say, hey, you know what? Hey, that problem you're dealing with, I went through that before. Let me give you the solution. Or, hey, you want to invest in that? I got you. Instead of being there, you're now where they are, and you really don't have solutions to their problems. So this is something I had to learn the hard way, and I've learned in life, many people who have taken the same path as me had to learn that you can't stay back trying to pull people up or make sure someone gets there, trying to falsely control life, because it's an illusion. You have no control over anything except your being, your mind, your abilities. That's all you have control over. So I wish I would have known to go after it fearlessly, unapologetically, courageously, confidently, knowing that everything I'm doing now, it's for me. It is not selfish. It is the most loving, generous, kind thing I can do for myself. And this is the most loving, kind, generous thing I can do for my daughter. This is the most loving, kind, generous thing I can do for future generations, is become the best version of myself and do amazing things, incredible things, and have the dream life to show them what's possible. Not talk about it, Not be one of those people, not one of those parents who tell my daughter anything is possible, achieve your dreams, have your life, and I'm stuck in a job I hate. I'm stuck. You know, I got a taste of it, so I can speak to it. I had a taste of it. I got to taste that life, and I'm so thankful for the way things played out for me, because no, that wasn't it for me. That wasn't good enough. And I decided at 17. Well, I had my daughter at 17, but I found out I was expecting her at 16. But I decided at 16, all these people sad for me, you know, thinking I ruined my life, thinking I don't know what they're sad for. I don't know what they think, because I'm gonna have everything I want. I'm gonna have my dream life. I'm going to do it. And it didn't play out the way I envisioned for myself at 13. It didn't play out that way. But nevertheless, it was exactly what I knew it would be. I had a lot of detours, a lot of bumps, a lot of obstacles, but I stuck with that. The promises I made to that little girl, you got this and you're gonna have it all, I kept them. I kept them to myself. So the one thing that, and I guess you call this a little bonus, one thing I wish I would have told my 16-year-old self, 10-year-olds, all of that, every promise you're making, you keep it to yourself. One day you're gonna tell your daughter, I keep my promises. We keep our promises. So you have to live that out. Every promise I've made to myself, I keep it to myself. Sometimes I have to backtrack, because hey, that's just how life works out sometimes. But I'm keeping every promise to myself. So my daughters see me doing that. They see me deciding, getting clarity, and going after it. And that's the culture I'm creating for my family. So I wish I would have known at 16 years old that you're creating a culture right now. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know it's a lot. It's a lot because you're what some would say a kid, you know, and though I'm only 37, almost. But though I'm only almost 37, like I get what they say when 17, you're a baby. I know so many people will say I'm a baby, and I don't argue with them, because 20 years from now, I'm gonna say the same thing. But you are so much more powerful than you realize. You have so much more ability than you realize, than you can even imagine. Yes, your 16-year-old self, 18-year-old self, 14-year-old self, you have the ability to create a culture now, to create a legacy now. And even if you come from something that you don't want to carry forward, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to feel guilty of that. You don't have to feel ashamed of that. You don't have to carry shame. Your parents' shame, that's their business. Let it stay there. The secrets and the things you don't want people to know and this and that, that's not weight that you should be carrying. Don't carry it. So you are going to need to find your safe space, and that starts within you. Everybody will say, go get therapy, go outside, this and that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with therapy. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having wise counsel, because you will definitely need that on this life path and on this journey specifically. But I'm telling you, true health, true wellness, true wholeness, all of that starts from within. So I will say the best counsel, the best wisdom, the best fruitfulness is going to come from some books. Get you some books, okay? Get you some books. Books should be your best friend, because life, I don't know if you've heard the saying, but they say readers make leaders. Well, readers, people who pour into themselves in that way, they tend to be the most successful people. Check me, okay? Don't just believe what I say. Research, dig up any millionaires, billionaires, successful people. What do they do that people who aren't financially well off do? One of the main things they do is read. They're constantly learning. They're constantly growing. They're constantly pouring into themselves. They work harder on themselves than they work harder on their jobs. You can give 30, 40, 50 years to a job, and at the end of your life, best case scenario, you get a little retirement package and this and that. We know now that's not the culture, the era we live in. You know, those jobs are far and few between. But what you get is so much different from the reward you get by investing in yourself. Another bonus, okay? So I'm gonna have to change the three things, list, whatever. Invest in you. Let your child see you pouring into you. Let your child see you investing into you. Instead of telling them, go to school, love to learn, this and that, just live that. I promise you, that's the easiest thing you can do. If you want your child to read books with them. Read books with them, but also let them see you reading books just throughout the day. Let them see you learning something new and being excited about it. Let them see you love life and love learning. And I promise you, they're gonna do it too. We are giving gifts as parents. Our children come into this world gravitating to us, believing we are capable of everything and anything. Our children come into this world believing we are supreme. We are powerful. We have the gift to influence them in any way, any direction we want to steer them in. We have that power. But many of us don't realize our power. We think we have to give our power to someone else because someone else is an expert. Someone else has more knowledge and wisdom than we do. Someone else has a credential or a license and we don't. We don't understand this problem or we've never dealt with it before, so we can't help them. And that is so far from the truth. As a parent, all you need is to have belief that you deserve the authority, the belief that you deserve the authority, belief that you deserve to pour into this child. And like I said, even if you come from a background where you got a lot of questions yourself, that's okay, baby. That's okay. That's actually beautiful. That's a gift. Why? Because in a way, you are an open book. You have so much to learn. You're a sponge and you're eager to learn. So you can go on this journey with your child. You can go on this journey of becoming, of doing, of having. You go on this journey with your child. So don't be afraid of having your baby young. You know, you made the choice you've made, either to have your baby or to keep your baby. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I promise you, you got this. You believe that you deserve a beautiful life. I'm telling you, baby, start there. Start with that belief that I deserve a beautiful life. I deserve a life of joy. I deserve a life of love. I deserve a full, rich, abundant, prosperous life. You start there and you pour that into you and your baby every day. Every day, I want you to make a new affirmation. I am worthy of a beautiful life. I am deserving of great things. I am beautiful. I am confident. I am strong. Every day, you meditate on that thing all day, every day. You say it to your baby. Start your morning looking at yourself. Say it in the mirror to yourself. Then you say it to your baby. I am wise. Have your baby, I am wise. That's right, baby. You are wise. You are strong. You can, everything, you know, the chatter that's in your mind is never going to stop. There's always going to be a voice that says you can't. Who do you think you are? You're not good enough. Don't think it's ever going to stop because you reach a certain tax bracket, because you have a certain number of homes. Don't think it's going to stop because you know, are in certain spaces and having certain experience. It never stops. What stops is the power you give it, the volume you give it. So that voice is always going to be there. So you have to put it in its place. Let it be chatter. Let it be noise. What has to be loud is what you say. That's the only voice that matters. And as parents, we're given a gift to set the foundation for our children. So if you grew up hearing, you ain't this, who do you think you are? You're not gonna be that. You just like so-and-so. You get on my nerve. If that's what you heard, if that was the foundation that was laid, hey, it is what it is. You can't change the past. Don't dwell on it. Don't harp on it. Let it be. Let it stay there. Whatever's in the past, let it stay there. But what you do have control over is yourself in the present. Not the future, not the past, yourself in the present. So lock into you right now. Lock into you right now and affirm who you are. So remember how I say you gotta decide, and write out, I am beautiful. I am strong. I am confident. I am a millionaire. I am a billionaire. Skip it. I am a trillionaire. Whatever you believe you are, baby, that's who you are. Not who someone else thinks you are. People plant seeds, but it's up to us to water those seeds, to nurture those seeds, to let those seeds grow. That's up to us. And most of the time, if not always, the seeds people plant are the seeds they get from their own gardens. So what I mean by that is that the things someone else is saying about you, most often than not, that's what they think about themselves. So don't take things personal. When somebody says something about you, good or bad, don't take it personal. Don't let that be the driving force. Don't let that be the source of your hope, of your confidence, of your belief. Because for the life you're gonna live and the path you're gonna take, you need something bigger than that. And the biggest thing of all is the belief you have in yourself. So you decide who you are. Lock in on that. Write your I am statements and meditate on them day and night. Get clarity about the path you have to take to get there. The things that don't line up, the things that aren't gonna get you there. And one thing I forgot to mention, get clarity on the things you already have going for you. And all of us come in this world with some gifts, some talents, some strengths, something to offer. And I know you might be thinking, well, I'm only 14, I'm only 16, what do I have to offer? You have something to offer. You are talented at something. You are gifted at something. It might be being encouraging. It might be staying calm in stressful situations. It might be thinking outside of the box. You have gifts and talents. I am 1,000% sure. You have to get clarity about what those gifts are. But I promise you, you have them. And the last thing is get at it. Go for it. Don't be afraid. Only believe that this is the path for you, that this is the life you deserve. And get after it so you can have the life you deserve and so you can give it to your baby or babies if you have them. But don't let anything stop you. Don't let anyone stop you. Don't let other people's fears stop you. Don't let other people's lack of belief stop you. Other people's doubts, other people's failures, the other things that people have allowed themselves to give up on. That's their business. That has nothing to do with you. That's not your business. Your business is deciding, getting clarity, and going after it. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, you need any clarification, any support, anything, just drop me a comment. Know that you are loved, you are valued, and even if your environment isn't saying that right now, I promise you, this world is full of beautiful people. There are some not so great ones, I promise you. This world is full of beautiful people. Even if life hasn't shown you that, this world is full of beautiful people. So you keep going, and I promise you, they will find you along the way. You got this. All right, until next time.